Really excited to be here. We've been working with London Business School for over a year now, working on their learning programs, looking at using different features in the platform. So it's a really exciting day to be here on campus and to meet the whole team. So, can you introduce yourself for us, please, and tell us a little bit about your role at London Business School?
Sure, my name is Morag Doig. I run the Alumni Career Centre here at London Business School. That's part of a department which we call Degree Education. My role predominantly revolves around providing career support to our community of alumni based all around the world.
So, your journey with Thinqi so far, can you tell us a little bit about the challenges that you had when you first came to Thinqi? So what London Business School was looking to solve at the beginning of that relationship with Thinqi?
Sure, I think for us, we've always been very cognizant of the fact that we need to be providing a career support service at scale to a community that's based all around the world. And so we've really needed a technology platform that was going to enable that was going to support that journey, that was going to help us ideate and create that content, get it in the hands of our alumni in a really easy and effective way. We haven't found that previously with other suppliers. So I think we were in a position where it was becoming more and more critical, but we were also more and more nervous about how we were going to make sure that we got the great insights that we have at London Business School out there. And that was the point at which we met Thinqi and moved things forward. So it was a great relationship that kicked off from a point of pain on our part, a point of pain we wanted to serve for our customers. But it was great we were able to move through it together quite quickly.
So how is the relationship going so far? Can you tell us about the successes that you've had with Thinqi over the past 8 months or so?
Sure. So I think the best place to start when I'm thinking about the success of the work that we've done together so far is really just around the collaborative kind of environment that we've put in place, if you will, as supplier and customer. It's almost as if those two roles don't exist and we're kind of co-creating this new product, leveraging the best of Thinqi to deliver the best of LBS content for our customers. What I've enjoyed the most, I think, is working with an organization that seems to care about our customers the same way we do. So our users are always front of mind for us. We want their user experience to be world-class, much like the rest of the learning that we put on offer here. And Thinqi, from day one, really enabled us to do that through listening to our concerns, trying to understand our customers, thinking about the things about the platform that we would never know, and surfacing those for us in a way that was able to help us make the right strategic decisions in the right way, and building momentum through the 8 months that we've worked together so far.
How do you think end users have found the platform? So London Business School alumni in particular, what's their experience of using the platform so far?
Well, I think compared to some of the platforms that we've used in the past, we've had extremely good anecdotal feedback. Now, it's worth mentioning that the first project that we've worked on together was Alumni Career Squared, which was our intention there was to provide some point of pain career support to alumni who may not know when they need it, and we don't know when they need it, but it's there for them to tap into. So the biggest thing for us, the biggest success, the biggest thing that the users have found, I think, is the fact that they can get into it easily and efficiently. We've had zero access issues from day one, which of course just takes so much weight off us in terms of that journey of getting those users and building that community on the platform.
So the big question, what next?
Well, I think you've whetted our appetite, so to speak, to bring together even more different types of content and even more different ways of positioning that content to alumni on the platform. So certainly from the Alumni Career Centre point of view, we have a great product that we can replicate now with other topics. So as you know, we built it out on an inflection point basis. So those alumni that were struggling with making a career transition or struggling with redundancy could go into that course pathway in Thinqi and really explore the resources. So we've got a great framework that we can replicate across other knotty career moments that we know our alumni face. And what I'm really interested in next is really two things. One is how we can continue to build the community around that content. So leveraging the other tools in Thinqi, like the discussion forums, the library resources. So that again, they have everything at their fingertips and they can almost build their own learning journey. And the second piece for me, which I'm really interested in, and I think will be next, certainly for the Alumni Career Centre, is how we can marry the way that Thinqi supports alumni asynchronously with some synchronous content. So, for example, leveraging our coaching programs, which really do have to take place in person, with supported digital resources, with other support in the background and a community hosted on Thinqi where they can come and interact with each other outside of those synchronous learning moments. I'm really excited to see what we can do there.
Have you got any specific metrics or figures that demonstrate the successes that you've had so far with Thinqi?
I mean, that's an interesting question because it's really, we're still in flow with thinking about that. You know, we're doing a lot of work internally in LBS around data and metrics more generally. And it's great that we're able to kind of integrate our thinking about what we're looking at with Thinqi into that. I would say at a base level, just being able to get alumni into the platform and seeing that community on there grow is probably the key metric for us. And with over 1,000 users already in what is a short space of time, for what is a point of pain service, and so it's not something everyone's just going to flock into at the moment that it's released. I think that it demonstrates that from a metrics point of view, that base metric, it's a great starting point for us to understand, you know, what success is going to look like going forwards.
And engagement seems to be growing day by day.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
I think one of the other things I'd be really interested to see is how many people come back, you know, that kind of recurrent user. Are they sticky users or are they just coming in once or twice? But what's interesting again about the product and the kind of work we do at London Business School is everybody's learner journey is individual and unique. So they might come in once and see what's there and then they might not need it again for 12 months. But the fact they can come back in, that content is still there, they can pick up where they left off and we can capture that using the reporting in the platform is so valuable because over the long term, it's going to really help us understand what our alumni want, what their needs are and where our gaps are so we can keep building out great stuff on the platform.
In terms of your experience with the customer success team in particular, how has that been?
Oh, brilliant. I mean, it's been such a breath of fresh air. We've worked with lots of technology providers in the past and we have a lot of strong relationships as a school and also with the Alumni Career Centre with our own providers. But this relationship feels different. It feels like there are those institutional barriers between Thinqi and LBS don't exist. It's like we're one team. And that's really valuable for us because there is a lot of functionality in the platform. You know, you could argue it's quite complex, but therefore powerful. And the challenge for us has been, how do we get under the skin of this? And you guys have helped us. And I don't think we would have been able to derive as much value as we have already from the platform had we not formed such a close working relationship. And to my point earlier about you see our customers as your customers, and you can't really put a price on that in terms of a supplier relationship like this.
Are there any additional comments that you'd like to add about your experience so far? Feedback is always welcome by us, good and bad.
I think one of the things that I've found really interesting about working with Thinqi, and part of this is my own insatiable kind of curiosity. I could kind of need to understand things. It's just how open you are to jumping on calls with us, filming them, doing training, helping us become super users in the platform. There's so much more work I could be doing to get better at the things outside of Alumni Career Square and the platform that we could be using. But I'm never really afraid to ask the questions or tag you in at any point. And I find that really refreshing because everyone's lives are really frenetic. We've all got these, big, hairy, audacious goals that we want to meet. And, I was thinking about prioritization this morning, listening to a podcast. How do we get all the things done that we're supposed to get done? But somehow it just feels like with you guys, there isn't really a question that's stupid. There isn't really an ask that's too big. There isn't really, there's not really an appetite for no. And that's the kind of environment that I thrive in. It's the kind of company that I like working with. It's the kind of team that I like working in. And so I think part of my biggest piece of feedback is that kind of attitude is just so valuable to us. So keeping that up is just, it's going to make our relationship even stronger.